If you don't watch this video, you will miss the best 19 minutes of your life. Have you ever looked at your life and quietly thought, something doesn't feel right, but I can't explain it? Not like a glitch in the Matrix moment, no spoon bending, no black cat walking twice, but something more subtle, more personal, like you're walking through a world that feels just a bit off, like you're living in a story someone else wrote, and you're only now realizing you never held the pen. That feeling, that quiet discomfort, it's not your imagination, it's the first crack in the illusion. And today, we're going deeper into that crack, because what I'm about to tell you, you were never meant to hear. Let's start simple. You wake up, you check your phone, you go to work or school, you do what you're supposed to do, you scroll, you consume, you post, you sleep, and somewhere in between all that you're told, this is life. But is it? I want you to think about a goldfish in a bowl. That fish swims around and around thinking the bowl is the entire universe. It doesn't know there's an ocean or a sky or people watching it through the glass. Now here's the uncomfortable part. We're the goldfish. We live in our own bowl, only it's not made of glass. It's made of beliefs, assumptions, systems, and invisible rules we were taught never to question. We think we understand reality, but we've only seen what we've been allowed to see. Let me introduce you to something that changed my life: the map and the territory. There's a difference between a map and the actual place it describes. A map of New York is not New York. A weather app isn't the sky. And yet most of us live our entire lives inside the map, forgetting the territory is even there. School, media, culture, they hand us maps from the moment we're born. They say, this is how life works. This is what success looks like. This is what's true. But no one tells you the map was drawn by people who needed you to walk a certain path. People who benefit when you follow the roads and never explore the forest. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to open a door, because beyond that door is the real territory. A version of reality that's not filtered through agendas or algorithms. One where your mind isn't just a sponge, but a sword. And to reach that place, you need to unlearn. Let me give you a moment you can relate to. You ever work a job that made your soul feel like it was aging 10 years a day? You go in, smile, do what's asked of you, pretend everything's fine. But deep down, something's screaming. This can't be it. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're ungrateful. It's that your soul remembers something your brain forgot. It remembers freedom. And in that moment, even if you can't explain it, you know, you were meant for something more. But that feeling gets buried. Why? Because the moment you start questioning the system whispers back, don't be difficult, be grateful, be realistic. Here's the truth no one tells you. Reality is not as solid as it seems. It's more like a script, and we've been following someone else's lines. Think about it. Why do we believe money has value? Why do we obey clocks? Why do we chase careers, brands, fame, followers? Because we were told to, not maliciously, not by some evil mastermind, but by a long, slow chain of conditioning passed down through generations. We inherited a reality. We didn't choose it. Now, imagine this. You're sitting in a dark theater. You're watching a movie. It's so immersive, you forget it's a movie. You feel what the character feels. You cry when they cry. You cheer when they win. But then, for just a moment, the screen glitches. You see the edge of the set. You hear someone cough behind the camera. And you remember, this isn't real. That's where you are right now. You're not broken. You're waking up. You see, reality has layers. The outer layer, the one you can see and touch, is the most deceptive. It tells you, this is all there is. But underneath that layer is energy, intention, belief, awareness. Most people never access that layer because they never go inward. They're too busy chasing outward validation. But the people who do, The ones who stop, sit, breathe, and listen. They start to see behind the curtain. Let me tell you about someone I met. Let's call him Elijah. He wasn't flashy. He didn't have followers or fancy degrees. But when he spoke, you listened. Not because he was loud, but because he was clear. One time I asked him, "Why do I feel like everything I've been chasing doesn't matter anymore?" And he smiled. That kind of smile people only have when they've walked through fire and come out calm. He said, "Because it never did. You were just playing a game you didn't know you were in. But now that you see the board, you can choose how you play." That moment hit me harder than any motivational quote ever could, because it wasn't just words. It was truth. Uncomfortable, inconvenient, undeniable truth. And maybe that's why you're here right now. Not because you want a conspiracy, not because you want to feel superior, but because deep down, you're done pretending. You're done with surface-level answers. You're ready to remember. Remember what? That you're not just a player in someone else's story. You're the author. You were just taught to forget. So what do we do with all this? First, pause. Seriously, stop scrolling, stop reacting, just breathe. Second, question everything. The way you define success, the way you measure happiness, the way you see yourself. Ask, is this mine? Or was this handed to me? Third, find your Elijah, that mentor, that guide, that presence who reminds you of the truth when the world tries to sell you lies. Because the truth is simple. Reality isn't about what's out there. It's about what you choose to believe in here. Points to heart. So let me leave you with this. You were never meant to stay asleep. You were never meant to just exist, check boxes and fade out. You were meant to wake up, to remember, to reclaim the pen, and write a reality that's yours. Because once you see the illusion, you don't just live differently. You live awake. You ever feel like you're walking through life wearing someone else's glasses? Like the world is there, but it's blurry, off, like there's a layer over it you just can't peel away? It's not your imagination. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You're just starting to see the cracks. See, once you begin to question the reality you were handed, you start noticing the seams, little moments that don't quite add up, a glitch in the routine, a pattern that repeats, a moment that feels scripted. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Sam, used to take the same bus to work every single day. Same route, same time, same driver, same people. One morning he sits down and the guy next to him says, "Hey, didn't we already have this conversation?" Sam laughs it off, but something about that moment sticks with him. A few days later, another passenger comments on déjà vu. And then again, over and over, different people, same lines, same timing. Until one day, Sam just stops and looks around, and it hits him. It's like he's living in a loop. Not literally like the movies, but in a system that's designed to feel like variety while keeping you in the same psychological space. This is what the Matrix actually looks like. Not cables and machines, but patterns, repetition, predictability dressed up as freedom. The real Matrix isn't built of code, it's built of beliefs. We're taught that life is unpredictable, but here's the strange part. Most people live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Same job, same routines, same problems. Wake up, work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. The system isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as it was designed. The question is, who designed it? Now this is where people usually zone out. They think it's getting too woo-woo or conspiracy-ish. But hold on. Let's keep it simple, real. This isn't about shadow governments or secret societies. This is about how your own mind has been programmed. By school, media, culture, even well-meaning family and friends, to believe in limits that were never yours to begin with. You were taught to stay in line. You were taught to doubt your instincts. You were taught to obey instead of observe. But once you see the programming, you can rewrite it. That's where the cracks start to form. The illusion starts to tremble, and you begin to wake up. Let's get personal. Have you ever had a moment when something deep inside you whispered, "This isn't it"? Like you're sitting at your desk or in traffic or scrolling through your phone and this sudden awareness washes over you. Like, there has to be more than this. That voice, that's your true self. The real you underneath the noise, trying to reach out. But what do most people do? They silence it, distract themselves, numb it with food, with screens, with endless stimulation. Because the truth is uncomfortable, and no one wants to be the one who steps out of the line first. That's why most people never wake up. It's not that they're not capable, it's that they're too afraid of what happens when they open their eyes. And that fear, that's been carefully planted. Let me explain. From a young age, you've been trained to fear uncertainty. But guess where the truth lives? Yep, in uncertainty. Growth, awakening, power. They don't happen inside comfort zones. They happen at the edge, right at the place where the cracks begin to show. And here's the twist. The system needs you to stay comfortable, not happy. Comfortable. There's a difference. Happiness is liberation. Comfort is sedation. Think about it. Why do you think they created endless scrolling? Why do you think most TV shows are designed to autoplay the next episode? Why is fast food fast and not fulfilling? Because they know if you stop for a second, if you sit in silence, you might feel something. You might realize something. You might start to see through the veil. And the moment that happens, game over. Not for you, for the system. Because here's the truth. A human who is broken free from mental programming is the most powerful force on earth. And you're already starting to see it. Now I want to share something from my own life. There was a time when I used to believe that life was something that happened to me, that I was just a passenger, that the world was fixed and I was just another part of it. But then I met someone, a mentor, not flashy, not loud, just present, calm, aware. They didn't teach me anything in the traditional sense. They just asked questions, challenged my assumptions, pushed me to see, not with my eyes, but with my awareness. One day we were sitting under this old tree and they said something that I'll never forget. Reality isn't what's in front of you. Reality is how you interpret what's in front of you. That hit hard, because it means that the same world can be heaven or hell depending on the lens you're using. And guess what? You get to choose the lens. You can either see the world through fear, or through curiosity, through obligation, or through wonder, through control, or through awareness. That's where the power is. But the system doesn't want you to know that. Because if everyone realized that reality was bendable, that thoughts shape matter, that belief creates form, then the entire structure would collapse. And that's the point. The matrix is only real if you believe it is. The moment you stop playing by its rules, it stops working on you. So here's what I want you to do after watching this. Start looking for patterns. Start paying attention to moments that repeat. Start asking, who benefits from me thinking this way? And then start imagining, what would my reality look like if I created it on my terms? You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to abandon the world. You just need to wake up within it. And once you do, you'll start noticing the cracks. And through those cracks, the light comes in. Let's stop pretending you're powerless. Let's stop pretending you're just a bystander in this world, watching things happen, waiting for permission, living by rules someone else wrote. Because here's the truth most people will never hear. You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to create, to influence, to shift reality just by showing up as your full self. But somewhere along the way, you forgot. Not because you're weak, but because the system is designed to make you forget. It starts early. You're born with curiosity, with wonder, with pure, limitless potential. But then the conditioning begins. You're told what's possible, what's realistic, what's normal. They hand you a script. Go to school, Get good grades, get a job, pay bills, watch TV, retire, die. And if you dare step outside of that, you're called crazy, rebellious, unrealistic. But here's the secret they don't want you to remember. Everything you see around you, every structure, every system, every invention, every way of life, was created by people no smarter than you. The only difference? They believed they could, and when you believe you can, reality starts bending. See, reality isn't fixed, it's fluid. It responds to your energy, your intention, your attention. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about someone and they called you the same day? Ever set your mind on something and it showed up in your life in the most unexpected way? That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That's your power, leaking through the cracks. That's the real you, reaching out saying, "Hey, I'm still here." And once you become aware of that, fully aware, you become dangerous. Dangerous to the Matrix, because they can't control someone who creates their own rules. They can't manipulate someone who trusts their inner voice over outside noise. They can't sedate someone who is fully awake. Let's go even deeper. Your thoughts are electric. Your heart is magnetic. Your body is energy. Science proves this. Quantum physics proves this. Your mind is not just observing reality, it's helping create it. But no one teaches you this in school, because if you knew how powerful you were, you wouldn't need the system. You wouldn't depend on their medicine, their distractions, their false rewards. You'd start healing yourself, loving yourself, directing your life with clarity and purpose. And that is terrifying to them. Now, I'm not saying you can snap your fingers and magically manifest a Ferrari. I'm saying that when you align your mind, body, and energy, you become a force. You start noticing opportunities where others see dead ends. You see beauty where others see chaos. You stop reacting and start creating. That's real freedom. But freedom comes with responsibility, and that's where most people pull back. Because once you wake up, you can't unsee the truth. You start noticing how fear is used as a control mechanism, how society profits from your insecurity, how the loudest voices are often the most lost. And that's heavy, that's overwhelming, but you don't have to carry it alone. That's why I'm here, not as a teacher, not as someone who has it all figured out, but as a mirror, a reminder, a mentor, to show you that you're not broken. You were just lied to remind you of what you've always known deep down. You are powerful. You are the creator. You are the glitch in the matrix. And you don't have to wait for permission. You already have everything you need. The power to change your beliefs. The power to rewrite your story. The power to choose a new reality. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, before the world pulls you back in, before your notifications start buzzing, before the illusion wraps itself around you again, sit in stillness, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I remembered who I truly am? Not the version they sold you, not the version shaped by fear, but the real you, the one that was here before the world told you who to be. Hold that vision, feel it, live it, and from this moment on, refuse to settle for anything less. You weren't supposed to know this, but now you do. And once you see the truth, you can't go back. So choose. Stay asleep and repeat the script, or wake up and write your own. The world doesn't change when everyone follows the rules. It changes when someone dares to see through them. That someone might just be you. If this message hit you deeply, don't ignore it. Sit with it. Live with it. Let it change you. And if you're ready to keep peeling back the layers, I'll be right here, because this is just the beginning.